Is caste a social evil? Dear Nair caste Hindus and other fellow caste Hindu community members, we caste Hindus are blindfolded and led to believe that caste is a social evil. The English-style educational system adopted by the modern Indian state and which was introduced by the Christian British colonialists had taught us to look at caste in unfavorable light. In addition, so-called reformists, activists, politicians and minority religionists, with the aid of media, constantly maligned the institution of caste. But Europeans who came to India by the end of 1700s and the whole of 1800s and had stayed for a considerable period of time amongst the natives had given a totally different picture about the institution of caste. They had high appreciation for the institution of caste and had recorded it in their memoirs. They had praised caste as part of the brilliant social legislation of the Hindus. It was unlike anything that they had seen and experienced in their own societies or elsewhere. The descriptive accounts of native life in book form left behind by such Europeans are now available freely in the public domain. One such book is Description of the Character, Manners and Customs of the People of India and of their Institutions Religious and Civil, written by Abbé J. A. Dubois. Abbé was a French Catholic Jesuit missionary who had reached Pondicherry for missionary work in 1792, which then was under the control of the French. He left India only in 1823. Thus he had stayed in southern India for 31 long years. His stay was divided between Pondicherry and Mysore. It is recorded by Henry K. Beecham, another translator of this work, that on the fall of Srirangapatnam, Abbé was specially invited on the recommendation, it is said, of Colonel Wellesley, afterwards Duke of Wellington, to visit the capital of Mysore in order to reconvert and reorganize the Christian community which had been forcibly perverted to Mohammedanism by Tipu Sultan. It is recorded that Abbé had close interaction with the natives during his extensive travels between Pondicherry and Mysore for missionary work. This book also reveals his obsession with the Brahmins, whom he considered the keepers of the Hindu religion. The manuscript of this book was completed in 1806, more than 200 years ago. It was in the French language and was first translated into English language in 1816 and published in book form in 1817 by the East India Company. Different editions of this book in English language now are freely available on the net. This includes translation by Reverend G. U. Pope and Henry K. Beecham. But in this video, the translation undertaken by the East India Company is given. The name of the translator was withheld by the company. Let us look at the first 3 paragraphs of chapter 2. We will look at other paragraphs in a subsequent video. The chapter heading Advantages Resulting from the Division of Caste, as one can see, is very revealing. Now let us go through the first 3 paragraphs, of which paragraph number 3 is the most significant for this video. In that paragraph, the Christian missionary, in spite of having a prejudiced and critical view of Hindu society, had admitted that caste is a benign social institution. There are many persons that have thought so little about the genius and character of the different nations that people the earth, of the influence of education, of religion, of climate, of food, upon their manners, desires and customs, that they are astonished how beings radically of the same nature and of the same feelings should so exceedingly differ from each other. Such men are trammeled by the prejudices of education. They can see nothing well ordered but in the police of their own country. Everything there being in good method, they desire to put all nations of the earth on the same footing, and whatever does not fall within their limits is denounced by them as barbarous or ridiculous. They will not consider that, though the nature of man is universally the same, it is nevertheless subject to be modified by the circumstances of the country, by the climate, the education and prejudices incident to each people, and that the rules laid down and followed in one nation would be subversive of another. I have heard many individuals, otherwise of great judgment, so full of the prejudices they had brought with them from Europe as to decide most erroneously on the subject of the division of the Hindus into castes. This distinction appeared to them not only as not promoting the good of society, but also as ridiculous and calculated merely to oppress the members of the state and to disunite them. For my part, having been in a situation to observe the character of the Hindus and having lived amongst them for many years as a brother and a friend, I have formed an opinion upon this subject altogether opposite. I consider the institution of caste amongst the Hindu nations as the happiest effort of the legislation, and I am well convinced that if the people of India never sunk into a state of barbarism, and if when almost all Europe was plunged in the dreary gulf, India kept up her head, preserved and extended the sciences, the arts and civilization, it is wholly to the distinction of caste that she is indebted for that high celebrity. For those within the caste system, the benefits for themselves and the society and the nation may not seem pronounced, but an observant outsider like the French Catholic Christian missionary could correctly gauge and ascertain the inherent strengths of the Indian society due to the institution of caste. Thus he came to the conclusion that the caste system is singularly responsible for the superior and enduring Indian civilization. For the attention of those who are not inclined to read this book, the contents of further paragraphs will soon be made available in the subsequent video. Nayar caste Hindus and Hindus belonging to other castes, we must fight jointly the ideological war against the institution of caste, a war that is waged against our very being in modern India. Jai Hind.